It's Halloween every day here on Slashback Cinema, but today things are getting a little extra satanic.
That's right. We're talking Hack-O-Lantern, the 1988 heavy metal horror flick that asks, what if Grandpa was a Satanist and also really into pumpkin carving?
We're talking sex, Satan, and some seriously questionable special effects.
So put on your devil mask and join us by the flickering light of the jack-o'-lantern. This is Slashback Cinema. All right.
Oh my God. Well, Shani, we're about a year into this thing. And
No, actually, we're exactly a year. We started right around Halloween, so we have like our 1 year anniversary.
this is our wow.
Yeah.
We should be having a birthday cake or maybe carving some pumpkins to celebrate the moment. But here we are, a year later. Any deep reflections on what we've created for the last year?
It's funny you asked that because one of my reflections is I definitely thought we'd be watching a lot more movies like Hack-O-Lantern. And in fact, there are a lot of really good horror movies that came out in the 70s and 80s. And so I feel like we've split our time between like good ones and crappy ones. But even the crappy ones weren't as crappy as this. This movie is like a whole new level of suck.
But I do feel like there's a certain joy and entertainment factor that comes out of these really horrible films. And I was thinking about like why I like it so much. And it just fits right in with the horror comedy stuff, which we love, which these maybe weren't meant to be funny, but they're so fucking funny that like they're just a joy in their own right. Although you really have to like break them out into different buckets. There's horror comedies intentional, B movies, and then like a C movie like this that maybe was trying to be something else that it wasn't, but kind of like uninvited, like fail so spectacularly. There's true moments of comedy, but likely not intended by the director.
Yeah, I feel like people who listen to this podcast will understand the expression straight to video or direct to video, because this movie is the directest to video movie we may have ever seen. I don't know if this actually got a cinematic release. Do you know anything about it? I never even heard of it before you recommended it.
I think it was direct to video.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't know that there's any way this movie made it to the theaters, but maybe it's ready for a re-release.
I'm surprised that it hasn't. When you go online and look up Hack-O-Lantern, there's some people who love this movie. And there's been I noticed a promised 4K release of the DVD or Blu-ray. It still hasn't come out and it's been a year, but people like are excited to get like a really high quality edit of this film. Meanwhile, for now, you can just go on Tubi and watch it for free if you will just partake of the advertisements, which is what we both did.
Hats off to Tubi. They really are going deep with their catalog. I think right now they're probably runner up to Eternal Family, which I feel like we need to go deeper into their catalog because every time they serve me a preview on social, I'm just like, oh my God, we got to watch this one. We got to watch this one.
Right.
But Tubi, if you're looking for some weird, obscure B movies, they've really they bought the entire catalog that was produced in the 80s and the 70s.
Yes, Tubi feels like the modern version of direct-to-video, because if you watch Hack-O-Lanterns or even search for Hack-O-Lanterns on Tubi, you will get 50 suggestions for other movies, and they all look pretty fantastic. So before we actually get started talking about Hack-O-Lantern, I thought we could just do a quick little catch-up. I wanted to share with you that there's this movie that just dropped on streaming about kids that all disappear.
Oh, Weapons?
Yes, Weapons.
Yeah.
I heard from several people who saw this movie when it came out in theaters. So I never got to see it in the theater, but I've noticed now it's on streaming. I watched the trailer and I thought, holy crap, this movie looks terrifying. So I have not actually seen the movie yet. Did you see Weapons?
No, it's on my list. And if you remember when we recorded with Weirder, the crew, I think Sean had recommended this movie and he loved it. And I've only heard good things about it. So, yeah, I'd be down to watch it. I mean, I just saw Black Phone 2 in the movie theater. And Shani, I've reached out to you in advance of watching that one because I was a little scared, but I'm okay. I think we can watch Weapons and we'll be okay.
Tell me about Black Phone 2. How was that watching it in the theater?
I forgot how fun it is to see a horror movie in a theater. Usually go to a theater and like kids are being noisy. Everybody's on their phones. Like nobody was on their phones. They were all like there was like dead silent, and there's this scene where like basically the one of the lead female protagonists keeps hearing this noise, and she's in a cabin by herself, and it's very creepy. They got these red heaters everywhere, and it's like winter time outside, and he keeps hearing the scratching noise, and she like is hears it under her bed, so she's leaning over under the bed, and then everybody there's like ah, ah. And then of course jump scared, everybody's like ah! Like
That sounds really fun.
yeah, it was fun.
Did you see it with your kids?
Well, I took Kai and his buddies to see it, and it's because the theater's like an hour away.
Wow.
I watched it. Of course, I didn't sit with them. I sat down in a different section, isolated from the kids. God forbid you be seen with your father. Yeah, it's good, man. I was impressed, and like I didn't see the first one, but it sounds like they did some different things in the sequel. That really it was reminding me of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, like heavy. So
you didn't see the first one,
no,
but you could still follow it. It didn't matter.
yeah, you know how it goes. They give you enough of the background that you're like, okay, yeah, this guy was grabbing people and killing them, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, and the guy killed him. So end of the first movie, and here we are.
Yeah, yeah. So I haven't seen the movie, but you mentioned you were going to see it this weekend, so I watched the trailer, and the only thing I got from it is a black phone rings, and it's one of those old-fashioned phones, like from our lives.
Yeah.
And just the sound of those old phones can be kind of creepy if you hear them ringing. I feel like, was it Black Christmas?
Black Christmas, yeah.
Yes, also made good use
the original black phone, yeah.
Yes, good use of an old style telephone. October is the time where the best horror movies drop, so we got quite a bounty. So it seems like it'd be worthwhile just to at least acknowledge what else is out there. And I really wanted to hear how Black Phone went.
I recommend Black Phone too. It was very good.
I like the fact that you're recommending go to see a horror movie in a theater, because we watch a lot of these movies. I don't know about you, but I'm watching them like on a laptop in my bed, and it's not quite the one of them I watched on my phone.
I think that was Black Christmas. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. It's not the same thing as going to see a horror movie with a bunch of other people and getting the crap scared out of you. So you want to hit me with a Hack-O-Lantern overview?
Oh my God, yeah. So this one is from 1988. It's really this bizarre, low-budget Halloween horror, again, set at a specific time, which apparently, we talked about this before on the pod, that a lot of these movies tend to do that. So happy birthday to me. Everybody's got a birthday. Well, everybody enjoys Halloween. So it's about this satanic cult led by this creepy grandfather who's basically grooming his son or grandson, Tommy, to carry on the family's dark tradition. He's the chosen one. And so you've got a mix of Tommy, angsty teenager who's actually in his 30s, heavy metal music. There's
but he's not supposed to be, right? He's supposed to be in his 20s. Is that right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody's supposed to be like teenagers, but they're all like 30 plus years old. You got heavy metal mixed in. You got some devil's horns and a lot of pumpkins and killings and pentagrams. So it's really this is about as schlocky as it gets in terms of 80s cinema. So that's broad strokes what's going on, and there's some family tension there as well, with mom and grandpa, and grandpa killing mom's husband. Typical family drama.
Yeah, so it's got, mom has 3 kids, right? She's got a daughter and then 2 sons. One son seems like he's gone down the dark path.
Yeah,
he's like the demonic one. The other one is like the opposite. He's like become a police officer. And then the daughter, she also seems like the good girl. She's got a friend who is constantly talking about sex. You realize 30 seconds after you meet her friend that she's going to die. Yeah. The friend that talks about sex, right. Just because we all know how these movies go.
Why are you hiding that dashing young deputy from me?
Who, me?
Does he look as good out of his uniform?
Oh, I hope this isn't going to turn into something X-rated or illegal.
I hope it does.
And so if you're horny in a horror movie, you're doomed.
You're definitely doomed.
But yeah, I noticed lots of videos on YouTube talking about this movie. Like, I'm like you, I've never heard of it. How did you come to recommend it?
I think I saw the trailer, and if you watch the trailer for this movie, it is bonkers. Like, it was in this, I would say, I put it in the same category as House. We saw that trailer. Like, oh my God, we got to watch this. Thinking at the time, there's no way that movie could live up to the trailer that we just saw. But, as we talked about on that House episode, it really exceeded the trailer. Mm-hmm. Like, movie was unbelievable. This movie, I don't know that the movie quite lived up to the trailer in the same way that House did.
The plot is about like this like satanic cult being run by Grandpa. And then Grandpa is like doing this voice. Here's the confusing thing about Grandpa and this voice he's doing. It reminded me a lot of Emperor Palpatine, but inexplicably, he had this kind of Louisiana Bayou accent, but he's the only character in the movie that seems to be coming from the South. Everyone else is just kind of talking kind of a Midwestern accent.
I have plans for Tommy. He will be a leader.
You have taken my husband from me.
No, your husband came to us. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was perplexing. He also looked nothing like his daughter or his grandkids. Like he's this short, stumpy guy. The actor's name was High Pike.
What I want to say about High Pike is I don't feel like he's quite exactly in the same movie that the rest of the cast is in. He has really committed to this crazy voice. And what's really funny to me is one choice would have been only do the crazy voice when you're doing your satanic rituals, but he just walks around town like everyone he talks to, he's like, "Hello, children." Like he does this voice at all times to everyone, and everyone else is talking pretty normal.
Vera, honey, I must say, you are certainly growing into a very tempting young lady.
Yeah, his character was bizarre. I think the whole time I watched this film, I was like, what the hell is the backstory behind so many aspects of this movie, including him?
Yeah, it starts off where he brings one of his grandchildren a pumpkin, but he's got two other grandchildren. He doesn't bring them crap. And then the kid starts to carve it and he cuts himself. And so he starts like sucking on his fingers that are bleeding. And then mom grabs the pumpkin and smashes it, which seems like an overreaction. Like, why is the pumpkin the thing that she's angry about?
But young Tommy, in that moment, right before mom smashes the pumpkin, delivers one of the best lines of this film.
Tommy, we have to wash that.
But, Mom, I like the taste of blood. Grandpa says it's good for me.
Grandpa says it's good for me.
There are so many good lines in this movie. Just absolutely bonkers. And there's like, the script is wild, but also some of the line readings are really wild. I feel like this is the kind of movie that rewatching it just makes it better and better. It's like a fine wine. You watch it the first time and you're like, well, this movie just sucks. But I feel like upon rewatching it, you really start to look forward to some of the crazy things that people are saying and doing.
Yeah, it is wild. One of the things coming out of my first watching of this film was I thought to myself, how many times did someone flash the devil horns in this film? Because like, I don't know that I've ever seen a horror movie where it shows up so many damn times. So I like looked it up. There was no exact number that came up, but somebody had suggested a drinking game where every time someone flashes the devil horns, you got to take a shot or a drink. Well, you would be pretty drunk by the time you're 10 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because I was going to ask you about that. So the devil horns, I thought, is your pointer finger and your pinky, and then the rest of your fingers have to be closed. But I felt like sometimes his thumb came out a little more. In fact, if you look like on the box, it's more like this with his pointer finger and his thumb out. It looks more like he's saying "I love you" in sign language than he's doing the devil horns. I don't know if Grandpa has got the movement right.
Or it was High Pike being subversive in his role. He was really pushing the envelope. The director, maybe he didn't know ASL, and he was just fucking with him.
The other funny thing is Grandpa uses, like you said, he uses the devil horn so often. He's using them kind of like they're going to do the Jedi mind trick on people. Like he waves it at people like he's going to brainwash them, but it never seems to work. So people in the movie are just ignoring the fact that he's constantly waving his devil horns or saying "I love you" to whoever he's talking to. And the conversation just continue as he's trying to like brainwash his family members.
Oh my God. Yeah. At the end, well, we'll get in the scenes. Yeah. Pretty amazing.
And speaking about the relationship between the characters, I did not look up who wrote this film. However, I feel like the writer was very insecure that the audience would not remember the relationships between every character. There's a huge number of times when the characters just remind each other in the movie what their relationship to each other is like.
He's not a cop. That's Roger, my normal brother.
It's my big brother again. Come on. I'm your little brother. I'm supposed to bother you.
After all, you're my brother.
You know, Amanda, the problem is he's your father.
Is this guy bothering you, Vera?
Oh, no, Brian. This is my grandfather.
Would you learn how to talk nicely to your sister?
For God's sake, stop it! I'm your sister!
No! She's my sister!
At its heart, it was all about family, because like that final scene, it's the mom and her son Tommy reconciling their satanic differences and coming together in the end. It was a beautiful moment.
Right.
Yeah, the director, Jag Mundra or Mundra, I don't know how you say his last name. I guess he was an Indian director who thought this was his way to cash in on the 80s slasher craze and make some bucks in the US. So he'd made a couple other horror films, but this one, looking his catalog of films he produced, I kept thinking he was like the Indian Jim Wynorski who had done Chopping Mall and Swamp Thing and some of those other ones. Similar level of quality, although Jim might be a little elevated above what Jag delivered us here with Hack-O-Lantern.
So you want to talk about some favorite scenes?
Oh yeah, I mean, as we kicked it off and I was playing that fine tune for you, You're the Devil's Son, the music video, like that was pretty peak in this film. Tommy's he lives in his basement. He's hanging out, and he like takes his shirt off, and then he like puts on his 80s Walkman headphones, and he's looking for cassette tapes, and he like finds the right one, and he pops it in, and he lays down his bed, and then it cuts to this. It goes from that scene to 1980s heavy metal music video.
Twice in the movie, there's like a break for entire MTV style music video where they play the entire song beginning to end. And this is the first time.
Yeah, we saw that. Oh shoot, what movie was that had Don't Open Till Christmas, that had that whole video cut into it. It was like,
oh yeah.
It was good exactly memory. Like that. They were just like hey, you're watching something else now. But so he's in the music video. It's this like female singer in the front, heavy metal. They're rocking out, heavy riff, and then this clearly she's meant to be connected to Satanism in some way. She shows up. She's got multiple arms. She's dancing, wearing this exotic looking outfit with bones and whatnot. It was going to the next level when she starts shooting laser beams from her eyeball and hits the drummer's cymbal set, and they all change into shrunken heads. They cut to the drummer, he's whipping around the shrunken heads, and then next thing you know, the shrunken heads are around her neck. It's pretty incredible. That's worth watching. But it ends with poor Tommy. He learns the dark side of being Satan's chosen one, with his guitar gets turned into a pitchfork, and the woman proceeds to chop his head off with the pitchfork and then smile and dance around with his severed head, and then he wakes up. Pretty amazing stuff all around.
Yeah, the movie doesn't do a good job of communicating he's sleeping now and this is a dream, or this is a flashback. So while you're watching it, I'd say for 30 seconds, a minute, you're like, wait, what is happening now? Are we in the next scene? Did he go off and is he recording a music video? So we were pretty lost. I was watching this with my wife and my daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a fair.
We were all like yelling at the movie, like Mystery Science Theater 3000. And it was insane. So that particular scene and that music had a very kind of 80s hard rock kind of thing going on that I thought was pretty entertaining.
So I did find out that was an actual band. It was DC, was it LaCroix? And they had 2 albums back in the 80s. Like they were trying to make a go of it. Like that was the actual band that showed up to play, and this was like going to be their big breakthrough moment, and Hack-O-Lantern didn't carry him very far, unfortunately.
yeah I feel like they had to be, right, because that sounded like a real song. There was no way that this song was written for the movie.
It was a pretty good song. I was digging it. Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of like a Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was going to ask you. Wow, it sounds a lot like Shout at the Devil. Yeah. So we were talking about favorite scenes. So you're saying that that music video, is that one of your favorite scenes?
I'm laying that down as one of my favorite scenes. Yeah. What do you got, man?
I feel like the Halloween party. The movie is like building up to this Halloween party, and it's like a party for the whole town. The whole town seems to be like this one fire hall or something. And so you see just like everyone you've seen in the movie, plus about 100 extras just kind of hanging around with, like kind of like red Solo cups or just kind of standing there. But this Halloween party is the craziest party in the world. Like you said, there's a stripper, there's a stand-up comedian who goes outside to entertain people in line, and then there's a belly dancer with a snake dancing at the party. It's just crazy. And of course, there's also like the killer is there wearing like what is clearly like a store-bought Halloween rubber mask, going around stabbing people. That whole Halloween party was great. There's a woman who's like kind of hitting on the young son, the police officer. She goes into the bathroom, I guess, to get herself ready to seduce the police officer guy. And then the killer comes up behind her and she asks him to like tie her corset tight, but he ties it too tight, which is kind of like a warning for viewers. Don't tie these things too tight, because she passes out from how tight the corset is, and then he stabs her. And so she's a character we've never seen before in the movie, and she dies. And then a second death happens at the Halloween party. Grandpa dies at the Halloween party.
What an epic battle of, it looked like wooden sword and pitchfork.
Yes. Kind of an Errol Flynn-like fight on a staircase. Yes. His eyes pop open in a startling way. And then he touches the younger son, the police officer, and he says something about the blood transfer through the blood. I didn't write down the line about how the
power is in the blood or something.
Yeah.
And then he busts out the devil horns and lays it on his forehead. Yes. Mm-hmm. You see the like beam of light show up on
Roger. The power is in the blood.
There was so much anxiety about Satan in the 1980s. I feel like this movie should have eased some people's anxiety, because these Satanists are like the least frightening Satanists you've ever seen in your life. They do a pentagram on the floor and light a candle, but they also kind of do like a little dance around the pentagram.
And they're wearing these robes that I kept thinking Reese's Pieces. Like, I don't know, like it was the color of the robe and the lighting, but they looked like Halloween candy come to life, basically. Like it felt like they really like got all the pieces, but the way they filmed it, it was it sort of drained any anxiety out of the parents' mind. If they watch this, they've been like, oh, this is what the Satanists do. They're like, oh, never mind. My kids
it doesn't seem that bad. Do you have any favorite deaths or anything else that stands out to you?
There's just all these like little nuggets and just moments of silliness, things that were making me laugh. I mean, that comedian who was, I looked him up. His name was like Wild Bill, Bill Tucker. And you're right. He just does this whole stand-up bit outside that is just so weird and bad. Like the jokes he was doing. Like,
yes.
He had this whole bit about a turkey being in the wrong place, the wrong time, like around Thanksgiving, and then he proceeds to imitate a turkey, which...
You ever been at the wrong place at the wrong time? You know, like a turkey. 3 days before Thanksgiving. In the woods. He's scared. He just got away. He's a pet. He doesn't know what's going on. He looks at the hunters.
So many head-scratching moments in this film where I was like, wow, who made the choice to do this? And then is no one watching what they've filmed? And they're like, yeah, it's good. Let's just roll.
Yeah. The impression I got from this movie is he filmed it and he just threw in random things that he ran into on that day. Like that comedian was playing that night in that town, and he was like, hey, you want to do a bit in the movie? And then that band gets to sing their one song. And there's like a couple of examples of that. Like there's a stripper who I just felt sure is an actual stripper they hired. And then like the belly dancer dancing with a snake, they just come across as people who do this for a living. And then he just filmed them and found a way to stick them in his movie, because they make no sense in the context of the movie. These aren't like characters that you run into. And he just kind of packs them all into the Halloween party.
Also, just not to say I was expecting a tight plot, but like in the first few minutes of the film, you know, Grandpa's come by. We talked about Grandpa meeting up with Tommy there in the beginning and giving him the pumpkin and his own special pentagram because he's the chosen one. And then, you know, the dad, Tommy's dad, says to the wife, well, you can't keep your dad in line. I'm going to go talk to him. He goes over there to talk to Grandpa, and Grandpa proceeds to kill him. His friend hits him in the head with a hammer, and then they burn his car.
Also, that guy's son is a police officer and never is able to solve the murder of his grandfather killing his dad. There's not even much of an investigation there.
No, it sort of is like the whole film approaches like it wasn't even like a big deal. It's like it is what it is, you know. Grandpa just kills people.
The thing that my wife and daughter got a big kick out of is there's a scene with Tommy where he is kind of got this girlfriend who you meet her, I think, for the first time when she is buying liquor, and then she walks out of the liquor store, and then you see she's got this very prominent satanic pentagram like tattooed on her butt, pretty high up. So she has to wear like basically almost like a bikini bottom so that you can see the tattoo. My wife and daughter got a big kick out of the fact that several times the tattoo seemed to move around on her butt. And then at one point there's a scene where she gets out of a pool and the tattoo is unfortunately washed off. And so it's like looking really faded. And you find out later, I feel like kudos to the movie for giving you a little context for this, that the tattoo is actually they burn that symbol, the pentagram, into branding. Converts. Yes. Although I do feel like if you burn a symbol into somebody, it doesn't really look like what a tattoo looks like. What in the movie, what it looks like is someone took a black magic marker and drew a pentagram on your butt.
That is what happened. Yeah. Let's not beat around the bush. That's exactly what the director did. It feels like a good time for stabby scores, unless you got some other lore you want to bring up or.
No, I think that's good. Let's get to our stabby scores.
Scores. Yeah. So what do you want to go? You want me to go? How do you want to handle this?
Why don't you go first? I'm very curious. You recommended this movie. You, I know you're a fan of heavy metal music in the 80s. We're going to come back to that in a moment. I'm very curious, like what you thought of this whole movie and what the experience was like for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar to many films we've watched, we talked about it at the beginning of this episode. You really got to like review a movie within the context of what the movie is. Like, if I was to compare this movie to Black Phone 2, I don't even know that I could honestly like give this any stabbies.
Yes.
But when you start to appreciate it for what it is, which is pure 80s straight to video, the straightest to video ever. Like, I think someone actually died from the video hitting them. On its own, this is like a one stabby movie, but like there were so many moments that made me just fucking laugh.
Yes.
And I really did enjoy it. That I'm gonna deliver 3 stabs for this film. Yeah. It is garbage, but it is enjoyable garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, it has gotten really hard with the stabby scores to know what to do with these movies that are definitely terrible, but also very enjoyable. I would watch this movie again. I might consider watching it every Halloween.
I think we got to do like the drinking game with the devil horns for the next watching.
I think I'll die of alcohol poisoning. The other thing about this movie is if someone were to ask me to like recommend like a terrible horror movie, this might be the first one that comes to mind. And I loved Basket Case, which is like one of the first movies we reviewed. But Basket Case is such like a uniquely specialized movie for like a very small audience is going to appreciate that movie. I feel like if you are interested in watching a schlocky horror movie, this is the schlockiest horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like if aliens came down from outer space and they were like, let me understand what the 1980s and bad horror movies were all about and what American culture was like at this time. This is the movie I would make them watch. I would say, watch this film. You'll really understand what bad cinema from the 1980s is, and all the cliches that were part of that culture. It does. And maybe that was like a piece of this director being from another country, coming here and being like, this is what I think America's about. Like, I don't know when he came to the US, but it did kind of, it feel like it checked all the boxes. Oh, we've got our heavy metal. We've got our Satanists, but we've got incest. We've got teenagers gone wild. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. I really like that insight. It does feel like it's the 1980s filtered through an outsider, like an immigrant who came to this country and reflected back to us who we are. And so because of that, I'm very opposed to 3 as a stabby score. As you know, I've talked about this before, because I hate the middle of the road. I feel like, then what are we really telling our audience? And so many movies will end up middle of the road. So because this movie achieves what it set out to be, which is straight to video suckitude, I'm giving this 4 stabbies.
Wow.
Because I feel like if you're going to watch it, you and I both agreed we would watch this movie again. And just the fact that if I'm giving a movie 1, 2, or 3 stabbies, I'm not sure I would actually go back and watch it. But on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm giving this a 4 because you watched it twice within like a week. And you get new things out of it each time.
You really do. I like discovering the laser beam from the dancer turning the symbols into stroking heads. Like that's a detail you don't really catch in the first watching. So
Right. There's so much going on. Yeah, this is a 4-stabby movie. I recommend it. If you wanted a schlocky, crappy movie, you have hit pay dirt with Hack-O-Lantern. This is also, I want to acknowledge the fact that this is yet another movie where the title is completely irrelevant. It's like they definitely came up with the title, and whoever came up with the title did not see this movie. We've seen a couple of movies like
Shopping
that.
mall, like exactly. Like it's got a great name. It's got a great logo, like Hack-O-Lantern. The poster art's fantastic.
Yes,
it was also known as Halloween Night, which is a terrible name, but Hack-O-Lantern. But that's like that's grade A right there. Like
Yes, and the movie Uninvited also had that quality of somebody just thought up the name at the production company. It has nothing to do with the movie at all. I mean, I guess there are jack-o'-lanterns in the movie, but they seem to be like irrelevant to the story and just worked into it because you're supposed to know that the movie took place at Halloween. So I want to acknowledge the fact that this is yet another very poorly named movie, which in and of itself might make it hard to remember. But God, this movie is a classic of crap. Highly recommend.
I am impressed, man. 4-stabbies, like, well done.
Hey, Ryan, I got a quick question for you.
What you got, Shawnee?
My question to you is,
shall we play a game?
Oh, is this an anniversary game for here on Flashback Cinema? I'm ready for it. Yeah.
That would have been a great idea if I had gone back and written questions about previous movies. We should really think ahead a little bit and we'll do that in the future.
You know what? You could just ask me all the questions I got wrong, and you would see how I've actually learned nothing, even though you gave me the correct answer. It'd be like, this is Gen X brain in full effect right here.
That's a fantastic idea. No, my questions for this week, I've got 5 questions for you. All of them are inspired by that band, whatever the name of that band was.
DC LaCroix.
What kind of name is that?
Apparently, it was like the lead singer initials for one of the guitarists, and that the lead singer's name. Like very creative.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, LaCroix. She was from apparently Quebec.
Okay,
not too far from Vermont.
So my questions for you are all inspired by hard rock, heavy metal of the late 70s and early 80s. Ryan, were you a fan of this kind of music? Judas Priest, AC/DC, Metallica,
Riot, Poison, and Whitesnake, and Stryker. Yeah, do tell.
Good job just rolling these names out. So I feel like this is the period of time, we've talked about this so many times on the podcast, where you were kind of like in between your Christian phase and then moving out of that era. But at the same time, you've had a lifelong obsession with the demonic. And so heavy metal, I couldn't decide if you would be good at answering these questions or not, because you were still a little conservative back in the mid 80s, but also simultaneously, these bands just loved satanic imagery, which you also fascinated you. So
yeah. And so this was a brief window before I found my true love of punk rock, and probably the Misfits encapsulates everything that, they brought the whole horror look and feel and thematic to their music, which that I know quite well. This heavy metal zone, some of it I know. So
right,
yeah, some of it stuck with me. I think one of the first 45s that I've ever bought was Quiet Riot. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's so. Then I'm a little more confident about how you'll do here. So here's question number 1. There's going to be 5 questions, and of course I'll give you multiple choice, so you'll have a fair shot.
Can I just apologize to all the actual true metalheads out there before I butcher whatever is about to happen here?
Oh no, I think you should walk in with a little confidence. I feel like you have a good shot at this.
All right, bring it on.
All right, question number 1: what was the name of Guns N' Roses' first album? And here are your choices: number 1, Use Your Illusion; number 2, Chinese Democracy; number 3, Appetite for Destruction; and number 4, The Spaghetti Incident. Although number 4, I noticed The Spaghetti Incident has a question mark at the end of it. So I guess it's The Spaghetti Incident. You have to kind of raise your voice at the end of a question. But so your choices, what was the name of Guns N' Roses' first album? Use Your Illusion, Chinese Democracy, Appetite for Destruction, or The Spaghetti Incident?
Right. So I see messing with me trying to throw out all the other album names in here. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident it's Appetite for Destruction, but there could have been some weird EP or kind of like stripped down release, which makes me think Spaghetti Incident is a possibility, but I'm just going to go with Appetite.
Appetite for Destruction is correct.
Okay, thank God.
Use Your Illusion, I feel like, was the one that came out like in their heyday.
Double, right? Yeah, it was
Yes.
like a double album.
Yes, I feel like I know that one because of you. There's Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. All right, well done. So you got 1 out of 5 so far. Question number 2, what was Metallica's best-selling single? So you got 4 choices here. Number 1, Master of Puppets. Number 2, Enter Sandman. Number 3, Nothing Else Matters. And number 4, One, like O-N-E. So what was Metallica's best-selling single? This is really like you have to guess. Like, I'm not expecting you to like remember how many copies of the single got sold. There's only 2 songs here I actually didn't recognize. But your choices are Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, and One.
I mean, I thought Master of Puppets was actually an album, so I checked that one off the list. Although maybe it was a song title. And then One was definitely popular, but that was before they got huge. Although that played a ton on MTV. So it's like B and C.
So you're between Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah. I'm going to say Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman is correct.
Yes!
That was their single best-selling single. Way to go. Nicely done.
Geez, just punched the mic there in celebration.
You got so excited. All right. Feeling a little more confident now that the first 2
Boy,
films?
got good momentum.
Ryan, and it's funny, I recommended this documentary to you, and I even read the book, so I'm very curious how you'll do.
Motley Crue vibes coming up here.
Correct. Ryan, who was the member of Motley Crue who died and came back to life? Your choices are Tommy Lee, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, and Nikki Sixx. One of them died for 2 minutes and was brought back to life. Do you remember who that was?
Probably all of them at one point in time, but I'm going to go Vince Neil.
It was actually Nikki Sixx.
Oh, God damn it.
So not really a documentary, like the rockumentary about Motley Crue. I think it's told from the point of view of Nikki Sixx. And so, yes, he dies. I think his heart stops from cocaine, and then he wakes up in the hospital, leaves the hospital, and then just like gets up and wanders away. All right. Question number 4. So, Ryan, there was a band, a hard rock band that came out with a comic book in 1977 in which they battled Dr. Doom. And my question for you is, what is the name of that band? Who released, it was actually a Marvel comic, obviously, because it's Dr. Doom. I don't have to tell you that. You know that already. Here are your 4 choices. What band had a comic book made about them in 77 in which they fought Dr. Doom? Your choices are Van Halen, Kiss, Judas Priest, or Black Sabbath.
Oh, my God. Wow. I'm going to have to look this up. But I would say this could be totally wrong, but they were such, I think, brilliant branding and marketing. They were all about theatrics that I feel like it has to be Kiss.
It was in fact Kiss.
Okay.
Not only that, but we have to find a way. I know this isn't going to read on the podcast, but I have to share with you the cover of this comic. 40 pages of full color comics. This is what it says on the front. Plus never before published photos and features. And then check out that last line, printed in real Kiss blood. I looked this up and this has been confirmed. A vial of actual blood from members of the band was withdrawn and then added to the red dye used to print the comic. Just, as you said, brilliant marketers. Make me the greatest.
So as a kid, I did not like their music at all, but like this is like when we were broke. You didn't like go buy records. Like if I would have said to my mom, buy me this record, she'd be like, nope. She's like, but you can check it out from the library. So I would go to the library and check out all of the Kiss records.
Really?
I remember putting them on every once in a while, but mostly I just stared at the art and read the liner notes. Like I thought the album covers were so incredible. Like they were like I feel like they had TV shows. Like I just thought they were cool. They were like definitely like superheroes.
I'm really surprised to hear that your mom let you check out the records.
Yeah, Knights in Satan's Service. Like, yeah, what?
Wow. Yeah, a girl I dated in college liked the music from Bad Out of Hell, but then she was also religious, and so she wasn't sure when it came out if she should like listen to the album or buy it because hell was mentioned on it and it's kind of demonic looking. But yeah, are you familiar with Bad Out of Hell? Do you know who?
Talking about Meatloaf?
I am, in fact, talking about Meatloaf.
And are you talking about your wife?
I am talking about my wife. I married that girl who wasn't sure if she should listen to Bat Out of Hell. I don't know if I can tell us during the podcast. I might have to check with her first. So question number 5, how many copies did AC/DC sell of their album Back in Black? Your choices are going to give you 3 options here because it's just going to be a shot in the dark. Did they sell 10 million copies? Did they sell 25 million copies? Or did they sell 50 million copies of Back in Black back in the day?
Oh my God. Well, that's a shit ton of albums. Like any of those numbers. I really want to like swing for the fences with the 50, but 25 feels right. So I'm going 25.
You're locking in 25? It was 50. They sold 50 million copies. The reason I want to talk about that is AC/DC was big. They were not the biggest band of the 80s. So 50 million copies is shocking. To put in perspective, like where we are today with album sales, I looked up Taylor Swift's best-selling album, which I don't have to tell you was 1989. And Taylor Swift sold 14 million copies of that album. So AC/DC sold 3 times more copies of Back in Black than Taylor Swift did of her most successful album. And we're just living in such a different world where like album sales are just not what they used to be. People, I guess, just buy singles or they just stream music. But gosh, back when we were kids, like album sales were huge. If AC/DC was selling 50 million copies of Back in Black, it makes me think, what was like the #1 band in the country? Like what was a U2 selling?
Well, I was just pulling this up as you were talking about that. And yeah, it's like the second best selling album in music history, which is bonkers.
Really?
So like, wow, that's wild.
But all right, this was very fun. I enjoyed our trip down memory lane.
Oh, what a trip. Good luck editing this thing. Although maybe it's a bonus long rambling episode of shenanigans.
That wraps up another trip down memory lane. Hopefully you enjoyed visiting or revisiting 1988's Hack-O-Lantern as much as we did.
And if you want to support the show like a few of our listeners are already doing, visit slashbackcinema.com where you'll find a merch store as well as a link for donating to the show. Every little bit helps. And we promise not to spend it all on pumpkins and fun-sized candy for the kids, minus the razor blades.
And we want to hear from you. If you have a favorite memory of the 70s or 80s or a classic horror movie you'd like us to dissect, drop us a line at slashbackcinema.com because your suggestions keep the conversation alive.